Jumbo fellow adventurers, all 10,000 plus of you. It is a thrill and an honor to be sharing this time and space with each and every one of you, whether you're watching live or the recorded version. Same. We believe in simultaneity. So much to be excited about on planet Earth right now, right? Everywhere we look, there's infinite possibilities boiling over that will usher in a golden chapter of life on Earth. And to add to the mix, the equation, we're doing some learning and spiritual growth on the way today. Oh my gosh, we have such an exciting program lined up for each and every one of you. Before I bring on our esteemed guest for the life-changing power of sleep adventure, let me just tell you a little bit about the format. First off, I guess I should tell you I'm Mike Dooley, writer, teacher, speaker on the nature of reality for many incarnations now. And we have before us, you and I, a 60-minute approximate workshop, play shop, delve into the realms of sleeping and dreaming, followed by as much as 30 minutes of Q&A, your questions for Dr. Clare Johnson. Included in our workshop play shop, there's going to be 2 guided practices that you will love. One pertains to your sleep animal, and another one for those with restless nights, troublesome, if there is such a thing, dreams or seemingly troublesome dreams, anxiety. Well, we've got a pre-sleep ritual about calming oneself. You will love this as well. And I think that is all of the protocol that I needed to impart. Let's dive into this adventure with Dr. Clare Johnson, the world-renowned sleep dream expert, author of countless books. Dr. Clare, great to see you again.
Hello, Mike. It's so lovely to be here. I'm always so delighted to be in your presence and learning from your wisdom and leading another class with you. I'm very happy to be here today to talk about the transformative power of sleep.
Oh boy. And actually, for those of you whose interest is piqued by this workshop, we'll be letting you in on some scoop that we are just about to release to the world. There will be a follow-up optional workshop beyond this, a new 21-day adventure. You may, if you've been around for a while, you may recognize Dr. Clare Johnson from our website, tut.com. We have done a lucid dreaming adventure together. It was so crazy popular just a couple of years ago. So it's time to do this deeper delve into all things sleep and all things dreaming. And you're going to get some takeaways from this workshop and an invitation to join us at our next 21-day adventure. Details to follow. Now, Dr. Clare, where are you in the world right now? You sound like you have a British accent.
Yes, well, I am English, but I'm in Germany right now, near to Stuttgart.
Near to Stuttgart, and I bet you drive a fancy German car, right?
No,
that's where they all come from.
Porsches and Mercedes on the streets, but I don't have one of those.
Okay, yeah. Well, you can visit places in your dreams, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
It's a very handy expertise you have. Well, so today's topic is the life-changing power of sleep. A lot goes into that realm, and understandably, because we sleep 1/3 of our life. Yeah. So I got to ask, Dr. Clare, what led you into this profession? Like, what was the first sparks of interest? Was they childhood, or did it come much later in life?
Oh, I've always been a really big dreamer, Mike. And in fact, my whole life is dream guided. I had my first flash of lucid awareness in a dream when I was 3, in a nightmare where I thought, well, I was drowning in this nightmare. And I realized, oh, I could either stay in the dream and drown, or I could wake myself up. So that flash of awareness enabled me to roll over in bed, to wake myself up. I fell out of bed, fell out of the dream. And my mum told me, oh, that was just a dream. It wasn't real. And for me, that was a huge shock because it had been so real. That dream experience was so vivid. And so I have always grown up knowing that there are these two distinct worlds, these two distinct universes, and one is dismissed most of the time by adults and so on as you're growing up as a little kid. But it was so real for me. And I used to have nightmares where I would try to escape from the nightmare, or I would become lucidly aware in the nightmare and then guide and change it. And I would also meet incredible beings in my dreams. So at the age of about 7 or 8, I used to fly up out of the house and go into the garden and meet these beings in the hedge. And they wouldn't let me see them, but they were very nice and they were very giggly. And they would sometimes show me books of magic. And so they were my dream buddies. Yeah.
That is so much fun.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just such an incredible state to explore, the state of dreams, lucid dreams, astral projection, and also those bliss states that we flow in and out of as we sleep every night. There's so much power and so much wisdom in our dreams and in the realm of sleep. And so I ended up devoting my whole life to researching it and teaching it and bringing other people into these realms and walking them through the wondrous possibilities.
And a big thank you for that. You have enriched my life mightily. And I should just chime in, and I don't think this is too new to the kind of people who'd be watching this, but having been a student of spirituality, metaphysics, the nature of reality, I don't think there's any major teacher, author, channel that I've learned from, including Seth, channeled by the late Jane Roberts, who didn't speak to the incredibly enchanted, powerful, filled with meaning and purpose realm of our sleep and dreams, where so much work in quotes, gets done. And Seth would say, it doesn't matter if you don't remember your dreams, the work is being done. But then he would go on to say, whatever, to say that, it would be so beneficial to all of my readers if they would take the time to draw their attention through intention to willfully desire exploring this 1/3 of our lives, because it's through learning that you are the creator of your nighttime dreams and that they're all filled with purpose and love, although we have a lot of those annoying ones. I mean, I do, where they just like, oh, what's that all about? Filled with purpose and love. We can then turn it around and realize we are our dream weavers. And this, of course, is the bridge to beginning to understand the power we all have in the dream of here and now, which is no less a dream, echoed by every spiritual teacher that I've been exposed to, that I've been moved by. And so where we're going with this live workshop is getting everyone on board with, not only are you the dream weaver at nighttime, but the dream weaver in your waking hours, and therein lies your power. So I'm glad you stuck with it. And is there such a thing as, dream schools? Did you go to school for this, or did you just write your own books from your experiences?
Well, in a sense, I went to school in my dreams. I've had so many incredible dream guides and mentors who show me everything from how to make friends at school when I was little, to the nature of the universe. I've had dreams where I've been shown the underlying code of the universe and how it is all creatively formed moment by moment in this immensely complex yet beautiful symphony. So all my life, I've had those dream teachings. But I also did do a PhD on lucid dreaming as a creative tool. And for that PhD, which was the first in the world of its kind,
Good
I
for
interviewed.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I interviewed artists and writers and found out about what they were doing in their lucid dreams to become more creative. Like an artist might walk into an art gallery when he gets lucid and stare at an incredible painting, wake himself up, and he's got that deeply inspiring idea for a new painting. So it's all about the creative genius that we encounter. We all have this, we all have access to it. When we dream and sleep, and we can bring that back even if we're not lucid in our dreams. There are states of consciousness that we can enter that are supremely creative, great for manifesting, intention setting, and they can take us to a much deeper, wiser part of ourselves, and we can bring those gifts into the waking state.
I'm sure many are wondering right now, yeah, it worked for you. You have this gift that surfaced when you were 3. How has it gone with your career and all the books and workshops that you've hosted in helping people who are like, not me, I never dream at night, or so they say. Are we all capable of having these experiences that you're referencing?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that we can learn to access more easily. We all have this within us. We are all dreamers. Sleep is a gift that we're given every single night of our human lives. And it's a portal into other states of consciousness. It's a portal into the dream realms. We all actually sleep and dream every single night. Even if we don't remember our dreams, we still dream. That's been scientifically proved. And there are ways of recalling our dreams. There are ways of bringing their wisdom into our lives, tapping into that creative genius, learning how to have lucid dreams if we want to. And yeah, I mean, I have taught this to so many different people from all walks of life, Mike.
And you see people learning it, right?
People are learning it. People are, that it's changing their lives. I mean, I've worked with stage 4 cancer patients who are in desperate need of escape from the pain and also of healing. We can access deeper healing energy through our dreams and our lucid dreams. I've worked with paraplegics. I've also worked with top athletes who would like to increase and improve their physical skills by practicing them in their lucid dreams. So there are so many different possibilities for these states of consciousness. And the important thing that I'd like people to know as well is that you don't have to be a lucid dreamer where you know that you're dreaming in order to access the profound healing, creativity, and wisdom of your nighttime dreams. There are other ways into this. There are other portals. And that's what I love to teach about, how to access these states.
Well, how often do you remember your dreams? Let me just ask that for a quick answer.
Every single morning.
Every single morning. And, I don't know if I'm representative of the audience right now, but I would say, I don't generally remember much. And if I do, it's like scrambled eggs and has seemingly no meaning. I've used some of your exercises, and I would say maybe once every 2 months, or maybe or more rarely, I will have a dream that is so vivid and literally pivots my life and changes my perspectives. I would like to have the every morning recall and the every night playground. How reasonable is that? And am I reflective of your typical student, like, what I just shared? Or
yeah, a lot of people, they'll come to me with that sort of level of dream recall. It really depends. But the thing is, a lot of people, when they kind of rethink their relationship to sleep, and when they become more intentional about sleep, they begin to, for example, have an afternoon nap in the day. And those naps are also great for dream recall. Or they begin to sleep in, perhaps just 2 days a week if they can. Maybe it's just the weekend for some people who work. because they know that when you sleep in, you get this burst of REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, which has really vivid dreams. And so that again increases their dream recall. So there are little ways and tips and tricks to receive more dreams. And when we start to record our dreams, write them down, it's like they blossom under that attention. So we'll get
That's
more
what
dreams.
Steph said.
Yes.
Start recording them. And that's why I'm so excited to do 21 days with you every day, a short video in the immediate future where I will be held to task. Do it for 21 days and don't let go. I find this so attainable and so so practical. You know, lucid dreaming is a bit of a leap, and I've had mine, but it's a bit of a leap. Whereas, you know I'm getting stuff done, and it would be so much more fun to remember it and start coming awake ultimately within the dream to direct it and bring that to my life. Can you tell us a couple of, a story or two from all of your many clients or more from your life that were just like, wow, big pivots came from a dream?
Yeah. I mean, there's always one story that leaps to mind. This is a special kind of dream. It's actually a telepathic dream. And this story was a mother, and her baby was born prematurely, and he was in intensive care. And she went home for the night, and she had a very, very vivid dream that her baby couldn't breathe properly and that he was icy cold. And she woke up somehow knowing that this was not just her anxiety, this was something that was happening. She got out of bed and the phone rang. It was the hospital, and they said, "You need to come in." So she raced to the hospital. Yeah, nightmare scenario. She got there, and in fact, one of the doctors had decided the baby could probably breathe on his own. So, had removed all the machinery, and the baby's lung had ripped. And the back of the incubator had not been closed. So he was very cold and struggling to breathe.
Oh, God.
Great news is everything was fine in the end. He recovered completely, turned into a strapping young man with no respiratory problems, and all was well. That ended well.
Oh, my gosh.
Kind of dream, though, that kind of dream, it makes you realize that, dreams can traverse time and space.
We do. That's what I was going to say. We are everywhere, always at once. Time, space, matter are illusory. In fact, they're inside of us. And so that's our real playing ground with the change of thought. Worlds are born. And I got to share, this comes to me not nearly as emotional or scary as that dream. But after our lucid dreaming course, I had a dream. My wife lost her Invisalign retainers, normally on the side of the bed, the nightstand. And it was a couple of days, and she had just gotten them, and she was vexed by it. And I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, I don't know when I woke up. I woke up, and in the dream that I had just had, I saw her retainers on a woofer speaker box in our house, but I didn't know where in the house. And I thought, that is really weird. And I was like, those woofer speaker boxes are usually external speakers to a computer. So I ran to my home office, and I don't have a woofer speaker box. I ran to my wife's desk, no woofer speaker box. I went to the living room TV. There's a woofer speaker box, but no retainer. And then back in our master bedroom, behind a door that is always opened, because, we had a toddler at the time, she was a toddler, that's always open. And behind the door, there's a woofer speaker to the TV set that's in there. And on top, there were her retainers. And the thing that freaked me out is I could not have seen that physically with my eyes ever. That door is always open because of the toddler in the house. And you cannot see behind that door. I didn't even remember that there was a speaker box there until I was looking for where are the woofer speaker boxes in the house. And to have an example where I could know something that heretofore I felt I would only be privy to if the physical senses were exposed to it, was just an amazing realization. And we deduced that, our toddler at the time had picked them up off of the nightstand and walked, 15 feet away and reached her arm behind the door or however, and
Yeah.
placed them there. And it's like, man, that just tells volumes of our capabilities 24/7 that
Yeah.
perhaps can release themselves more quickly in a nighttime dream that's much more flexible. Any other cool stories like that?
That's amazing though, Mike. I mean, I just want to say, that's exactly the point, right? That when we dream, we access these different states of awareness where we're much more receptive to
Oh,
all this other information that we normally kind of block out with our lively waking consciousness. I mean, I've had dreams as well that that have really blown my mind, the way that that dream blew your mind. So at one point, I was part of the International Association for the Study of Dreams, and I just literally joined the organization, didn't know anything about it. And they had a dream telepathy contest where there are 4 envelopes. You don't know what's in them. The sender, the telepathic sender, picks one of them out, and they spend the night trying to transmit this image, and everyone else tries to tune in their dreams. And I was skeptical. I was doing my PhD. I was like, oh, come on, that's not going to happen. But I thought, I was very curious. I thought, I'm going to give it a try. So I had a dream that night that I was walking through this green park with loads of amazing trees, and I heard a woman shouting out, "Tree, tree," and I couldn't see her, but she was somewhere there. And then I met the telepathic sender in my dream, and I became lucid, and I said to her, "Oh, are you tired trying to transmit the image all night?" And she said, "Oh, I've just been shouting the word inside my head." And I said, "Well, that's weird, because in my previous dream, there was a woman shouting the word tree." And I wanted to kind of ask her if the tree was the image, but I thought that would be cheating. Even though I was lucid in my dream, I still thought that would be cheating. So I didn't ask her. We started talking about the nature of green and trees. Then the dream changed, and I was standing in front of this incredible sort of green oak tree. And I tried to draw it, to jot it down, realized there was no point doing that because I was dreaming. And then I woke myself up. And it seemed so real, that tree. But by the time the morning came, I thought, oh, it probably wasn't that. It was just a regular dream.
where?
Can you guess the rest of the story?
Oh my God, it was a tree.
That was the image, the green tree, the big oak tree that I'd seen in my dream. It was like someone had walked into my dream, taken a photograph, and that was the target image. And even wilder than that, the telepathic sender said that she had actually flung her arms out like bows and shouted the word tree, tree. And it's like I heard her shouting that in my dream.
And how many times have we all had a dream, but there was no opportunity for validation later on, which doesn't mean it was any less real? Here's something that just happened to me when we decided to do this, you and I, another adventure. That got me thinking dreams, and that alone will spark experiences. And I was having a bit of a deal with someone, a personal relationship, like try to convey this, and like impossible. Just words are not going to work.
Yeah.
And that night, I had this dream where the person was sitting down in front of me, just there to hear and there to absorb, and I could articulate everything I wanted to say. It was so weird. It was like a different version of that person, yet the version that was able to intake what I was sharing. And by all and outer appearances, the messages were conveyed. And it's like, man, we are everywhere, always at once. And we can use that. And hearing stories like this, for me, I'm psyched. I'm gonna triple down. And for everyone here, just knowing that these things happen and that they're in alignment with the greater understanding of our connectedness, and that love is the glue, and that we have inner senses. Do you want to share one more? Because those are fun stories. You have one, or you must, I would imagine.
I have so many. One from me or one from someone else? I could go for
whatever
a serious one again, because even
whatever
though
you're called to share.
I'm just thinking of one where, I mean, it's another bit It's a bit of a crazy one. But this guy, he dreamed that he was being tortured with hot coals under his chin, hot coals, and he was in agony. And he woke up from that dream and had no idea what the dream was about. And he ended up going to the doctor and discovering he had a form of thyroid cancer. So that dream, and he wrote a whole book about it called Healing Dreams. He's called Mark Barash. And so this, again, this is like the way that dreams speak to us. And this is why it's so important to write down our dreams, because he had no physical symptoms, nothing yet, but the dream knew. Why? Because when we are asleep, we are tapped into our body. The dreams will bring us that information about our bodily health, our bodily situation. And if we learn to listen to dreams, they can point us in the direction of help, you know, while it's still at a very, very early stage.
Or wealth, or anything else your heart desires. The higher self knows. It's just getting your ear. And that's what this is about. So I've taken up some time here with these, the fun of these stories. Obviously, sleep is important, right? How important is it?
Sleep is vital. We can't exist without sleep, as we all know.
Bashar says it's one of the absolute requirements of every human life.
Yeah, exactly. It totally is. And I mean, I'm sure everybody here has had a situation before where they've had a really sleepless night, perhaps while traveling, or when you've got a little baby who's waking you up every few hours, or who's sick. And so we all know how difficult it is to get through the day when we haven't had that quality sleep. Everything goes downhill. Our resilience goes downhill. We're more likely to get ill. We're more likely to load up on sugary, fatty foods because we're just so tired. We're more likely to explode with emotion, have arguments with people because our emotions are no longer regulated. We need sleep. We need it. We need it for our physical body, our health and healing, our resilience. We also need it for our mental health. You know, it helps us to, dreams help us to process everything that's happened in our lives. They help us to integrate difficult situations. They give us possible futures. They show us how to react or respond in our lives. And they also help us to access divine guidance and wisdom, because we can have dreams where we're floating in bliss. We feel utterly loved, utterly safe, utterly protected. And these dreams often come to us when we're having a difficult time in our waking life. They will come to uplift us and to give us the healing that we need on all levels of being. And we can also explore all of the different states of consciousness which exist in a night of sleep. I mean, it's wild. There's so much. There's hypnagogia, which is the pre-sleep imagery and sensations with lots of incredibly creative sensations and sounds and imagery and ideas, great for manifesting and intention setting. And then we have dreams, which, as we've talked about, are genius in so many ways. And they also help us with memory consolidation. They show us, they point the way through life. We have lucid dreams where you know that you're dreaming and you can guide and shape the dream. We also have dream incubation, which we'll learn about in the class as well, where you can set an intention to have a particular kind of dream to help you solve problems or have a creative idea or give you an idea. Shall I take this job or that job? Shall I choose this partner or that partner? You know, they really can help us to, to decide to make these major life decisions. And we enter blissful states of consciousness where we can experience so much joy and bring that into our lives. So for me, really, the superpower of sleep is that we become happier. We can access more joy. We can bring that into our waking lives. We have this eternal friend. Dreams and sleep are our best friends. They're always there, even at 3 o'clock in the morning, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning. And our whole life will transform when we engage with our sleeping potential. It's just so much. So much to explore.
Well, I'm ready for our first guided practice. Are you ready, Dr. Clare?
Absolutely. So this guided practice is playful because I think it's very nice to play when we're engaging with the unconscious, and it's a way of falling in love with sleep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through a fairly brief, 6 or 7 minute guided meditation. And we're going to meet our dream animal, our sleep animal. So we're going to imagine sleep as a gorgeous animal, and I will talk you through it. And the reason for it is because so many people push sleep away. They push it into a small corner of their lives because they don't realize how rich and incredibly wonderful it is. So we're going to bring sleep to where it belongs, into the center of our lives, and connect with it. And so I'll talk you through it. All you need to do is close your eyes and relax, and we can have some music. I think there's some music coming on. There it is. That's great. So just relax and take some deep breaths. Focus on the way the breath moves in and out of your body. And allow your thoughts to drift away for now. With every breath, you move closer to a place of stillness. A place of peace. And this peace is always there. It's always there, under the surface of all our thoughts, desires, distractions. So just connect with that peace for a moment. And now, take a moment to imagine the best night of sleep you ever had. One of those amazing nights where you float blissfully through your dreams and everything feels like pure bliss. And when you wake up from that amazing sleep, you feel like $1 million. You have this incredible energy running through you. You feel strong, like you can face anything. And you feel such joy, such zest for life. And that is your night of sleep at its very, very best. So now imagine this best night of sleep as a gorgeous animal. Which animal would it be? Feel into the energy of that best night of sleep. Perhaps it takes the form of an animal that you admire, wild dolphin or a mountain lion. Whatever it is, take a moment to allow your gorgeous sleep animal to come into your awareness. Really see them. Feel the energy of this gorgeous animal. Feel the magic. So lovely. And imagine your sleep animal dwelling happily in its natural habitat, wherever that may be. And now imagine what happens if that habitat is restricted, if it shrinks, and that gorgeous animal doesn't have as much space. How does that feel? So now we're going to help that magical creature to regain the space it needs, all the space in the world that it needs. Imagine its habitat growing and flourishing. Imagine your gorgeous animal moving around, having a fulfilling, amazing life. And now make a promise to your gorgeous sleep animal. A promise that you will create space in your life for this animal, this gorgeous animal, to share its gifts with you and enter into a profound relationship with it. Just feel how it feels to make that promise to your sleep animal. And you can say goodbye to your sleep animal for now. Maybe give it a hug or whatever makes sense, whatever feels right, knowing that you will meet it tonight. You'll meet it whenever you go to sleep if you want to. And you can take a few deep breaths and return to the workshop. Well done, you've made a promise to create space in your life for sleep and to enter into a beautiful relationship with sleep. So welcome back.
I loved it. Black Panther.
Really? Oh my gosh, that's such a lucid animal. I know so many people who report that animal prowling through their dreams and helping them to become lucid, helping them to heal and all sorts. That's very powerful.
Hey, everybody, in your comments, if you have access to comments right now, if you're watching this on the dashboard or YouTube, we don't see the YouTube, I don't think, but we do see comments in the dashboard. So what was your sleep animal?
Oh, lovely. Someone says their power animal is the otter. And then they say they can't get a dragon out of their head, though, to do this exercise. Well, maybe it's both. You don't have to limit yourself to one.
If you're on YouTube, we do see your comments. So yeah, no matter where you're at, share your comments. What sleep animal did you get? I knew you were going to do something like this, Claire. And I was like, what animal will show up? And I was like, well, you know, like I felt like, how do I know if it really shows up or if I create it? But I tell you, it just slinked onto the scene. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like,
lovely.
I think you're a very good guide. I was there and I was ready. And
well, maybe that panther will accompany you on the 21-day class, Mike.
Oh gosh, maybe tonight we're gonna get started.
And we've got some great powerful animals here. Someone's got a bear, a grizzly bear, lots of bears actually. One had a goldfinch, not exactly snuggly, but beautiful and unexpected. A unicorn, a doe, a panda, hummingbird, lion. Goodness me.
Raven, I love ravens. Snow leopard.
Elephant, jaguar, hawk. Look how unique and amazing you all are. This is incredible. These come up so quickly, these guides or these sleep animals. And it's so beautiful to connect like this with a power animal.
What a great technique. Okay, let's
Wow.
let's
Oh,
mine you and get as much as we can from you. Thank you, everyone, for typing in your thoughts there. Um, just to kind of get a scope of the potential for dreams. You know, everyone knows that there are hidden messages. How do we interpret hidden messages? How do we know if it's hidden or overt or actually meaningless or?
right. Well, as we talked about earlier, some dreams, they're not even symbolic. They're actually from the body about a physical condition, or they're
Oh,
telepathic, right? But if we're looking at dream interpretation, how to figure out the message, well, I can give a couple of examples. Well, one example maybe now, and we can talk about this more on the 21-day class. So one woman, for example, she dreamed a very strange dream she did not understand, which was there were all these bursts of spiders in her home, like on the walls, all these spiders. And she found this really unpleasant and upsetting. And she was walking around the dream, noticing that more and more spider bursts were coming all over her home, and she didn't like it. So she woke up, had absolutely zero idea what's that about. I mean, who knows? But as she started to build a bridge with the dream by considering how she'd felt, which emotions were predominant in the dream, she realized that those feelings of fear and stress and something very unpleasant were related to how she felt every time her boyfriend had an outburst, an explosion of anger, and that these explosions of anger had been getting more and more common in recent weeks, and that she was absolutely not happy with this, and that it had to be addressed. So that dream, dream of spiders, which could mean something different for pretty much everyone who dreams it, depending on how much they like or dislike spiders and so on. That for her, the bridge to finding out the meaning was to connect with the emotion of that dream, the feeling. So that's one example of how to connect with a dream to tease out its meaning.
What about the stereotypes? Because I love what you said. Everyone's going to have a different idea of what spiders are, and they'll use it metaphorically in the dream state. But then there's those recurring, like I've always heard my whole life, if you dream of snakes, people are talking about you. And I'm sure there are many other like wives' tales or folklore. Is there something to wives' tales and folklores or universal meaning to certain things, or is it person by person or both?
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, you see, if you 100% believe that seeing a snake in your dream means that someone's talking about you, then it probably will have that meaning, right? It's much.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who feels or who has noticed in their dreams that a snake comes up during a time of transformation, snakes are known for transformation because they shed their skin and they make themselves new, then it might mean that for you. If you're terrified of snakes, it might be about facing your fears. But snakes are also linked with healing. So there's so many different things. But one thing is interesting, that we all have dreams about things like running away. So running away desperately, and often you feel like you can't run fast enough, that kind of dream. And those often have a common theme. You could ask yourself, what am I running from? Or what am I scared of? Or you could re-enter the dream in your imagination, turn around and find out what it is that you're running from. Let's have a look at this thing that's chasing me. Let's discuss this. Let's ask them a question. What do you signify? So yeah, and we have dreams as well about our teeth falling out. I don't know if anyone here has had those, but that's a very common one. And for me, that always came when I was younger at times of change. And I think it's because I first moved house and had to move away from all of my best friends when I was about 6, around the time when you're kind of losing teeth and growing teeth and all of that. So it kept recurring after that, linked with change, transition in my life. So yeah, it's fascinating though.
Okay, there's room for a deep dive there. So we'll do that when the time comes. Problem solving, we hear that all the time. Is there a trick? Do you present the problem? Do you frame the question a certain way?
So what we'll do as well in the 21-day class is we'll learn the art of dream incubation. When you ask for a particular dream, it's very important the way you frame the question. Yes, it has to be very simple, because the unconscious, it doesn't respond well to a lot of a very long, complex sentence or question. In fact, the best thing is to like get it down to something. Right, exactly. You know, be really direct. And for example, like, how do I heal? Or how do I meet my soulmate? You know, something super short. And then along with that, you have an image in your mind, because the unconscious works all the time with imagery in our dreams. And then just ask that question as you're falling asleep. And every time in the night when you have a mini awakening, you ask it again and you visualize that and then fall asleep. And that often results in a dream that presents us with answers or gives us various possible outcomes to.
Oh, that's a good start. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Two power tips so far. One, look back at what's chasing you, face it as you interpret the metaphors. And in this case, what was that? Just basically simplify with a caricature.
Yeah.
And how do we access divine guidance? Let's give them some concrete.
Oh yeah, we're really going to go into this on the course as well. There are several states of consciousness linked with our night of sleep, which are amazing for receiving guidance. So we'll be talking about the hypnagogic state as you're just drifting off to sleep. We'll talk about the hypnopompic when you're emerging from sleep. We'll talk about lucid dreaming, where you can ask for guidance, for spiritual guidance, or ask for creativity, whatever it is. And also dream incubation, again, where we can invite these dreams. So there are various different ways of accessing that kind of guidance. And we will be doing specific practices as well on meeting guides, meeting spiritual guides, asking them questions, receiving their wisdom. So there's a lot of that.
Can you impart one nugget that anybody can try tonight with regard to accessing divine guidance? One little tip or trick.
Yes, I would say, because we all have these short awakenings in the night, or sometimes we wake up to use the bathroom or whatever, but we all roll over in our sleep, change positions. When you're aware of yourself doing that, then ask the question, ask for divine guidance. Just literally just ask divine guidance. And the divine guidance will know what you're asking about. And it will come in. And just run back. Like when you wake up, don't immediately open your eyes or start to move. Stay still and just let yourself sink back into what was just happening in your dreams, to just capture that wisdom or that guidance. Yeah.
Very cool. How about accelerating our manifestations through harnessing or through dream exercises? What is that? You know, I'm the manifesting guy in some regards, in some realms, but actually using sleep to aid the manifestation process.
Yes.
Help me with that.
Well, I think you probably already do this when you do your own manifesting. Is that you tell me what you think, but if you want to manifest something, a really amazing way of doing it is to lie down and relax and go into a different state of consciousness, not this kind of like this consciousness where we're wide awake, beta brain waves, but we let ourselves drift down into alpha brain waves and theta, and we rest on that alpha theta border, which is the gateway to sleep, where basically our body basically starts to fall asleep. We start to drift into dreaming consciousness. And that's an amazing state of consciousness for manifesting. You can drop an intention into that. It's like dropping a pebble into a pool of water, and it expands, the ripples expand, and it goes right into your unconscious, which has a hotline to the divine and to the manifesting power of the universe.
So with an intention to find that, I've heard of it referenced many times, that balance between theta and alpha, where it's just like, you're bobbing on the top of the ocean. So with the intention, I'm going to visualize clarity in terms of new business ventures. And then do you actually do something when do you have the wherewithal at that bobbing level to have a refinement of intentions, or to ask for visions, or what?
Yeah, and you can receive as well in that state. You can you're kind of, as you're saying, you're like bobbing on the ocean. So sometimes you might dip down and almost be asleep, but then you'll come back up. And then you just have to, at that point, feel what's come up for you, or you might see an image, or you might hear a voice, or you might just get a sensation in your body that you can tap into.
I
I mean,
think that'll work for my naps, because I do nap.
yeah.
Whereas at night, I'm just like, put my head down, I'm gone. I just submerge.
Right. Well, that's the thing with the dream recall as well. So naps for you, Mike, that's going to be like your golden moment of the day for the next 21 days and beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, you can really put all of this into practice during nap time. It doesn't have to be a long nap. It could just be 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
And I always hit that surface. I'm bobbing. Okay, let's do the second guided practice. Explain that for us.
Sure. So the next guided practice is to set an intention for blissful sleep. So while we're setting up the music and getting things ready, you can think about what you would like from your sleep. Would you like blissful sleep? Would you like better dream recall? More energy in the mornings? Would you like lucid dreams? So just be kind of thinking about that as I continue to talk a little bit. What we're going to do after we've set our intention for our night of sleep is to meet our sleep guides or protective guardians, and just feel their warm, supportive, loving presence around us. And this is just a really lovely, easy, quick meditation that you can do tonight once I've talked you through it, just to help you enter sleep in a really beautiful state of mind. And that state of mind as you fall asleep. Now, just relax and close your eyes and take some deep breaths, just bringing your awareness to your breath. Feel your breath going in and out of your nostrils, just focusing on that entry and exit point as you relax. And with each exhalation, you feel any tension just drifting away. And you allow your thoughts to drift away. And you can inhale relaxation. Feel it entering your body in blissful waves. And exhale any tension. Release anything you need to release. And as you breathe and relax, you can set an intention for your sleep. Could be an intention for blissful sleep, more energy in the mornings, better dream recall, healing dreams, lucid dreams. But just decide on one thing, one intention for your sleep. And focus on that for a moment. See it. Feel it. Feel how wonderful it will be when it manifests. And now, just let it go. Just let it go, knowing that your intention has created the ripples in your unconscious and that it's on its way to manifest. In this guided meditation, you're going to meet sleep guides or protective guardians and feel their loving presence all around you. And guides may appear in any form. It could be an ancient tree or a deceased loved one, mythological creature, or a ball of glowing light. So just be open to whatever's going to come and let your body go. Let your mind relax. And visualize your conscious awareness as a tiny, bright star, very beautiful point of light. Bring this star onto your forehead and experience its gentle, loving light. Let that star melt away any tension in your head, bringing you peace and stillness of mind. And allow the star of awareness to move down into your heart, illuminating it. Feels so good to have this light in your heart. And you feel very relaxed and peaceful. Your thoughts floating away as if they're made of air. And as you relax, you remind yourself that it's easy for you to connect with guardians and guides and sources of loving power and protection. Light in your heart, shining like a beacon. Now, you see other stars of light glimmering in the distance, getting brighter as they approach. And you know that these are your guides or your guardians coming to you. All you need to do is rest in awareness. Perhaps you'll see departed loved ones again, or forms of light, or sense a loving presence on the energetic level. Be open and see who or what shows up for you today. Your guides and guardians gather around you now, holding space for you, shining light onto you, protecting and nurturing you. Take a moment to feel how good it feels to receive such generous love and support. And feel your guides beaming love onto you, bathing you in light. And as you receive love, healing, wisdom, whatever you need to receive, know that these guides and guardians are always there whenever you need them. And it's nearly time to return. Take a moment to thank your guides and to consciously absorb any love, healing, or wisdom that you received into your heart, your mind, and your body. And know that you will return to waking reality with these gifts within you. And as you begin to come back to your body, remember that you are far stronger than you think. You have these guides always with you. They will protect and care for you while you sleep. And their love is always there for you. So you can take a few deep breaths, waking up more and more with each breath, and come back to the workshop. Welcome back.
My spirit guides were so real. These sparks of light. It was, I want to go back. I want to develop this. This is really good, Claire.
Oh, Mike, you can go back there tonight. Your homework for tonight.
It's going to be done.
Light. Yeah, wonderful.
Well, before we go to Q&A, I do have a few more topics, and from which I would love like a solid tip for everyone. Sleep as a portal into the divine. You've said just ask for divine guidance, but the whole idea of the portal, and what else is there? We've kind of filled that in, but this is a pre-noted question. Anything else to share on sleep as a portal into the divine?
Yes, and we're going to do this practice in the very first week of the 21-day class. It's incredibly powerful, simple, beautiful. It's creating a sacred sleep altar. And it's very easy to do. It's a wonderful practice. And this is your own portal to the divine. So we have a sacred sleep altar. It can be extremely simple. You could just put a figure of something from your dreams, like a little elephant, for example, beside your bed. Or you could bring anything you want, any object that feels magical, any object that feels divine to you. And you're basically creating a portal to the divine in the sacred sleep altar. And what you do then is you connect with this before you go to bed, and you formulate your question or your hope or your intention, and you connect with that divine portal. And then as you're falling asleep, you can enter that portal in your mind's eye. You could enter your sleep altar and use that as a portal, or one of the objects on it. These are just beautiful, imaginative ways of connecting with the divine, with direct practical action. So there'll be this and many other tips as we go through the course.
That's perfect. What's the ultimate potential? I mean, put this in context of our whole lives, the rest of our lives, the potential for sleep, how to maximize it, access it.
Yes. So sleep, the maximum potential for sleep is enlightenment, is becoming aware, becoming awake, becoming illuminated, becoming conscious of what it means to be human. And I mean, sleep helps us with this. So many people say, oh, sleep is just 8 hours of dead time. No, it's not. And it's not a uniform state of consciousness either. There are so many different elements to sleep, as we've talked about during this session. And so when we access the other realms, we can get in touch with wisdom, cosmic wisdom as well. Not just wisdom about our life, which is also super useful and helpful, but also we will understand the cosmic dance. We will understand our place within it. We will understand the nature of the universe and the fact that the universe is thought responsive, just as dreams are. When we're in a dream, if we're scared of something, the dream grows scarier. If we're full of love in the dream transforms and everything changes. And life, waking life, works in the same way. I think of it as being a sort of a slower, denser dream, waking life.
Yeah.
We don't get the same instant manifestation as we might do in a nighttime dream, although that can happen. But we can learn to guide and shape our lives and be a part of this conscious dream, waking life as a dream. So it wakes you up. It wakes you up to your purpose in life and how to help other people to navigate life. And it gives us spiritual energy and raises our vibration.
I think it's fair to say that it would complete us in a way that few, if any, other modalities can do. That is who we are 1/3 of the time, without the bars of the cage we've constructed around ourselves. It's malleable, and we see our role in its creation, and then bring that to the dream of here and now. So enlightenment, that's something I'm definitely into, self-realization. And one of your 4 workshops, so to talk about the 21-day adventure that's coming up, and then Q&A, it's titled the 21-day Transformative Sleep and Dream Adventure. Many of you know that we have done many 21-day adventures. They're all really cool. They're for a price you choose, as little as $29. They come with 21 daily videos, all shot by Clare, anywhere from 3 or 4 minutes to 8 or 9 minutes. Does that sound right, Dr.
Yeah.
Clare? And they're kind of a debrief, perhaps, of the night before, or intention setting, or discovery of your power for the upcoming dreams. And in addition to the 21 videos, which are daily, there are 4 90-minute workshops that will include time for your Q&A. Ignite your sleeping superpowers. Number 2, that's number 1. Number 2, access divine guidance from sleep angels and power animals. Number 3, the 3rd workshop, discover your creative genius and sensual power.
Kundalini energy, and what we can do with that in our dreams, how to invite erotic dreams, how to mobilize that dream energy, that Kundalini energy, for physical rejuvenation and vitality.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Workshop number 4, sleep your way to illumination, self-realization, the awakening we're all going through right now on planet Earth. Hugely relevant. Yeah. So the adventure starts on May 21, and I do believe in the dashboard under us there are links, and the reveal for those watching this, you get first dibs. May 21 kicks it off with a workshop and 21 videos, and then each week into the adventure there's one more workshop, and then we cap off and conclude with a workshop. So 4 workshops spread over 3 weeks, beginning, 2 in the middle, 1 at the end. Anything to add, Dr. Clare, about the workshops? And
yeah, I mean, there's just so much to this class. I had such fun shooting the videos. Really exciting. It's such a journey. I mean, there are lots of little practices in there that are very powerful as well, like the sleep altar. There are meditations, there are candlelit bath rituals, meeting your power animal, restorative yoga poses that you can do in bed, dream incubation. I'll also share my lucid writing technique, which is a very creative technique that I love. We'll talk about cosmic sleep. We'll discover dream treasure by recalling our dreams. We'll talk about the meaning of dreams as well. Lucid dreaming, how to get lucid in your dreams if you'd like to. How to manifest your heart's desire. I mean, there's just so much, because once I get started on dreams, I'm unstoppable. So there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of playful ways of engaging with your night of sleep and discovering the beauty of dreams. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's go to questions. If you're in the audience and you have a question, go ahead and post it. Some of you already have, and we will bring your question in text format onto the camera so nobody has to show their face. Okay, so let's see. First question, how can this help with insomnia?
Yeah, the course will absolutely help with insomnia because we do all sorts of beautiful meditations to help people to drift off to sleep. I also have the insomnia freedom technique that I developed, which is one that you can use if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep, which is maintenance insomnia. And so it helps with that. Generally, insomnia, we'll have to talk about this more in the workshops, but it can be a complex thing and it can have many underlying reasons. For a lot of people, it's to do with anxiety or those whirling thoughts that we have, so that stop us from going to sleep or that make us wake up feeling anxious in the night. So there are tips, practices, and techniques to help you to embrace sleep and redefine your relationship with sleep in a fundamental way.
Thank goodness. I know that's a common issue. Somebody asked if they can't make a workshop, can they watch it anytime? Yes, just like this. Join the 21-day adventure, and all of the workshops and all 21 videos upon their release will be on your dashboard forever. So you do not have to be at the workshops to have them, and there's no expiration time on any of them. All right, next question. What does flying in your dream mean?
Well, so flying dreams often show that we've become more conscious in the dream. They're often a precursor of lucid dreams when you realize that you're dreaming. And a lot depends on how you're flying. Some people have trouble lifting off to fly. So that might mean that that's representative of some area in their life where they're having trouble getting the momentum to go up and away. A lot of people love flying dreams, myself included, because they're so free. Yeah, Mike loves them too. There's that feeling of incredible freedom. And, you know, for me, I think of it as soul flying, you know, like your soul is free, unfettered, and just absolutely amazing. So in that sense, they don't have to mean anything. It can just be one of the gorgeous things we can do when we take on a dream body instead of this physical body. But they're gorgeous, and if you're enjoying your flying dreams, cultivate them and have more.
I'm sure they could have different meanings for different people, but I've always heard that there's some reflection or programmation of joy, joy, joy. And the few that I've had in my life, it was just joy, just crazy joy, just play, play, play. And surprisingly, I never realized I was dreaming. I just thought I was flying.
Yeah.
And it was fun. So I'm going to invite some of those.
Perfect. Next question.
What's the secret to going back into a dream you wake from? No matter how I try, I haven't been able to get back in, usually to resolve something. So I'm left hanging.
Okay. So again, this depends on the individual. Are you a good visualizer? If you're good at visualizing things, you could attach your attention to a visual element of the dream, like a core image or something like that. If that's not so easy for you, then you can simply replay the plot of the dream story, by just running the actions through your mind, even if you can't physically see them. It's a bit like the way we do sort of during the day. You think, oh, what happened in that meeting? And we kind of replay it in our mind. Well, this happened, then that happened. So you could try the plot to get back into it. I have a whole system I developed called the lucid imaging nightmare solution, where there are techniques for getting back into a dream to resolve nightmares, to change the horror into joy, or to ask the nightmare figure why they were chasing us or hurting us. So that's a very effective way of doing this. And you don't need to be able to visualize to do that. So it's just a way of also relaxing your consciousness, so you're more in the alpha theta state, which we'll learn about on the course, because then in that state of consciousness, you can drift back into the dream.
Okay, very good. Somebody has also asked an administrative question. It's variable pricing. No matter which you choose to pay, you get the entire course. One of the buttons may seem to not be working. That's just the way it's showing up, at least on my monitor. If you move your mouse around, all four of the pay options um, are working on my monitor. If you're on your phone and it's not working, I can't troubleshoot that right now, but it's working on monitors, and we will double check that the phone links are working as well. Okay, next question. Is it possible to learn a foreign language with this process? I need to learn Spanish.
Wow. Well, you can certainly consolidate your language skills, absolutely, because that's what dreams help you to do anyway. What I find is that as soon as I start learning a foreign language, or even if I just go to a country that I've never normally been to, like Thailand or something, for a week or so, I almost immediately start dreaming the very few words that I've already learned, right? But what I found as well, I did my undergraduate degree was French. And so what I did in my final year, in my dreams, I would teleport to the south of France and speak French with the French and perfect my French and listen to the accent, because your brain saves everything that you do. It saves everything you hear, everything you see. And when we're dreaming or lucid dreaming, we can tap into that knowledge and bring it back. And I ended up doing very well in my degree, because while the other students were sleeping, I was speaking French, revising in my dreams, So you can certainly enhance your language skills for sure.
When you say teleport in your dreams, I guess you just intend that you will go to the south of France or wherever?
You just think yourself there. Sometimes I flew like really super fast over the channel and then down to the south of France, but like really fast within seconds. Or I would teleport. I would just say, I want to be in the south of France, in Montpellier, which is where I had studied. Bam, I was in Montpellier and speaking French with the French. And oh my gosh, it was just so great. It was like an immersion, an immersive course. So I woke up having consolidated those languages.
I'm so enthralled about the teleporting, because, we can do that with our astral body. We can do that with our light body. We can do that with our physical bodies. Some of the ascended masters tell us. And what better place to practice than in a nighttime dream? And of course, we can speak other languages, as all the ascended masters did. And so why not get a boost in your dream? Okay, next question. How can I heal karmic debt in lucid dreams? Wow.
Well, there's all sorts of ways of healing in our dreams. Ancestral healing. I mean, I've worked with people one-on-one before who have had big issues with sort of ancestral trauma in the family, intergenerational, multi-generational traumas. And there are ways of going back into your dreams and doing dream work with the dreams that are definitely talking about or focused on that trauma. So it's the same in any way. If you feel like something's happened in the past and you need to make amends, then you can work with the dreams that you have. So this means you need to recall the dreams and write them down. And then there are ways of working with them to resolve them, like bringing healing to them. So doing a dream re-entry, as I talked about earlier with the lucid imaging nightmare solution, you can use a technique like that where you re-enter the dream, you let it build up all around you. But this time you're aware, you're calm, you're ready for healing, you're ready to make amends and make changes. And it can be super powerful to do that. And I've also done it in the waking state many times, led clients through this kind of thing. Just first of all, getting them into that slower alpha rhythm state and then guiding them through it. So it's certainly possible to do this in lucid dreams or in waking trance states or dream work, waking dream work.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, next question. What causes recurrent dreams that make no sense?
Right. So that totally depends on the particular recurrent dream that's occurring. I mean, it means something. It means that something has not been resolved. That's why dreams recur. Dreams, like I always say, there's no such thing really as bad dreams, because all dreams come to help and heal us. Even the worst nightmares, they come as like a red flag saying, hey, there's something here that needs healing. There's something that needs resolving. So that is what recurrent dreams are doing. So I would recommend working with the dream to unwrap it. Think about, for example, the predominant emotion in that dream. What's the feeling of the dream? And perhaps that will relate to something in your life that's currently happening or has happened in the past, something that you haven't moved on from, or something that needs more attention, more healing. Yeah, I would start with that. Yeah.
My recurring dream, and I haven't had it in decades, is that it's my only recurring dream that I realize I'm dreaming. And then I look around and I say, no, it's too real. I can't be dreaming. Oh, this is too real. And I lose it. And then I wake up hours later and it was like it was a dream. And that's so clear to me. That is that's awakening. That's self-realization. It's like, give it to yourself. Just know that it's all a dream, that your life is a dream. Okay, next question.
Great.
Please, can you tell me what it is when one feels like they are falling or dropping and wake up with a jolt? Also, you could also recommend a book to decipher dreams. Thank you.
Okay, so the first one is known as a hypnic jerk. So it's when you're falling asleep and you're basically, your body and your brain are going through quite a big transition as you fall asleep, because your body is transitioning from being a physical body to kind of entering a more like a dream body state, but it's not quite there yet. So you've got a lot going on in your brain and your body. And then there's just this hypnic jolt where the muscles just kick in, it just like wakes us up like this. And that's absolutely natural, not at all harmful. It's kind of annoying for some people. Other people say, okay, that's woken me up a bit. Now I can set an intention because I'm on that beautiful alpha theta border, and they set an intention for manifestation or for their night of sleep or whatever. So you can utilize that. Dreams, books on dreams. I've written 8 books on dreams. One of those, Dream Therapy, which is called Mindful Dreaming in the US version, that shows how to unwrap dreams, decipher them. And also on my website, deepluciddreaming.com, there are various blog posts about common dreams and how to understand them, how to decipher them, unwrap them, and get to the heart of them. So
and we'll be talking about that to some degree, right, during our 21-day adventure.
We will. And I will be around as well. Like, I mean, if people have the dashboard and they're writing down questions, every day I'm going to take a look and I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can. And just leave comments wherever I can, because it's just, for me, like, this class is not just I sit back and just do the workshops every week. I'm engaged. I'm here and I want to talk to you. I love it. I love hearing about people's experiences and just helping them to get more deeply into the world of sleep and dreams.
You are a very special teacher with a warm heart. So thank you. We're so happy to have you back. Next question. Is it true that people who appear in your dreams are simply elements of yourself, your own personality?
Well, that's one school of thought that believes that everything in the dream represents us, whether it's a pen in your dream, that must be a part of you, or if it's a dream wall or a dream person. So that's just one way of thinking about it. But not always. I don't think it's always the case at all. At the beginning of this session, we talked briefly about telepathic dreams, for example. So in those sort of dreams, it's almost like a visitation. And there are other dreams as well where we encounter beings who seem to be more conscious and much wiser than we are. These beings of power, these wise guides, these divine entities. And they're, in my view, they're definitely not just a part of ourselves. There's something else there. It's a higher power that we can connect with when we sleep in dreams.
DJ, that's a great question. And really, in the ultimate scheme of things, even in the dream of life, there's only me and more me. And each of us can say that, and it's 100% valid. But we play with these roles for the sheer joy and the adventure of it. And so I think the answer is it's both. I mean, that we're all one. That's the
The
ancient
other one.
universal teaching. There is only one. We're the same divine energy pouring through different lenses. And it would be the same in a nighttime dream, which is your own creation. So you are creating these other lenses to complement. I mean, it's a yes and answer. Thank you
Yes,
for
very complex and deep. That's true.
Yeah. Next question. What about difficulty going to sleep at a reasonable time?
Oh, well, that's linked to all sorts of things. I mean, all sorts of things to take into account. For example, caffeine intake. I mean, it's a very complex, complex question. Eating big meals too late at night will interrupt your sleep. The thing about caffeine is that it has a half-life. So if you have a cup of coffee, or if you have dark chocolate, for example, which I love, if you have it after about 2 p.m., then it's still going to kind of press into your dreams and keep you more awake and stop you from having so much deep sleep, which is a very vital stage of sleep. You'd have to look at your sleep hygiene, and we will talk about this on the course as well, to figure out why it's difficult sometimes to go to sleep at a reasonable time.
I want to share just, this is such conventional wisdom, but it's worked in my life. You know, getting in some degree of exercise on a regular basis. The difference from a good night's sleep or not is, you know, did I sweat that day? Did I go do something that day? And I mean, that's pretty simple. And I'm not saying you have to go do that, but it works wonders. Next question. What does it mean if we fall asleep during the meditations completely and passed out?
Oh, it means that you were tired and your body needed to rest, and that's all good. And so your body just said, oh, thank goodness, I'm finally being allowed to relax, and I'm just going to take it. And so that's all good. It's all good. If, however, you think, oh, I always miss all the meditations, what I would recommend is to do it at a time of day when you're feeling more alert, like 11 in the morning. And if you still fall asleep even then, again, it's a sign you might be sleep deprived, right? But if you do want to wake up and hear the meditation, then try sitting up so that you're less likely to fall asleep, right? But generally, I always say to people, you know, if you fall asleep, it's because you needed it. So that's fine. It's the body getting the rest and recuperation it desperately needs. So
okay, maybe two more questions. How can this help with achieving deeper sleep and waking with more energy?
Yes, well, we'll be looking at all sorts of best tips to have your best night of sleep. So it will help to achieve deeper sleep. And as the one I just mentioned before with the caffeine, just like had a very quick mention of that, we don't want to reduce our moments of precious deep sleep, right? So the course is also going to help us to expand that and protect it the way that we protected the habitat of our beautiful sleep animal earlier. So it will help with that. And waking with more energy, again, we're going to look at the whole sleep cycle and how that works and how we can, well, one of the most important things, for example, is just to have a regular bedtime and a regular waking up time so that the body gets used to it, and to dim the lights before we go to sleep so that melatonin, the sleep hormone, is produced in the brain. So there are all these tips and tricks that will help us to fall asleep, have more deep sleep in our cycles, and wake up feeling energized.
And of course, less screen time in the hours before bed.
Yeah.
One more question. When we are dreaming, are we in REM state?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have dreams in other sleep phases as well, but REM sleep is known for its particularly wild, vivid, creative dreams. So yeah, I mean, we do have dreams in other states, though. Researchers have found that even if they wake up somebody from a pretty deep sleep, that person will often still be able to say something that was happening, even if it's an abstract concept. There'll be something or some sort of image or a color. So, but REM sleep is these kind of represents all these dreams where it's as visually real as this around us right now. It's often highly emotional because the amygdala, the emotional accelerator, has nothing to calm it down, no prefrontal cortex activity particularly. And so it just goes wild. And this is why our emotions reach such peaks and troughs in those very vivid REM dreams.
Dr. Clare and everybody watching, this could be one of the most powerful steps you ever take to better understand yourself, your life, your power, and to find calm in what can seem like a chaotic world. I am personally super jazzed about the discipline I'm going to cultivate during these 21 days, beginning on, what did I say? May 21. And you won't be alone. One of the greatest things about these 21-day adventures, and they're so affordable, $29. If you need a scholarship, tell us, okay? But one of the things we find that's so invaluable is the community and the sharing and this work. That didn't. Dr. Clare shows up. She answers to the best of her ability most all of your questions posted in the forum. If you're looking for traction during this great awakening that we're all moving through, there could be no better traction than going deeper into yourself, understanding the truth, knowing why you chose this time in this space to be alive, exercising and igniting the life blueprint you chose for this very time and space. So I urge you to check out the page. It's practically a gift. It's pay the price that works for you, and you get the entire course. Either way, I hope you got some nuggets and some tips from this adventure to enhance your sleeps and your dream state every single night. Thanks for your trust and your faith. Dr. Clare, any parting words?
Just to say thank you so much to all of you who have tuned in. I just get so excited reading all the comments and knowing that people are out there doing this, doing these guided meditations, encountering guides and amazing sleep animals, and beginning this fantastic journey. And these 21-day adventures are just super cool because you're with so many other people, as Mike said, and it gets very exciting. The dream energy rises and we will explore new depths to sleep and dreams together. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Okay, everyone. And Dr. Clare, much love from Orlando. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy everything forever and ever. We love you.